The floorboards were already up, and in every possible gap were squeezed bodies. Some had rotten away, leaving just parts of bones. It was as if we were looking about at a massacre. I could imagine, if left to his own device, he could easily commit genocide upon the human race. There was men, women, children, all covered with maggots and flies. Some burned, some missing ligaments. It was horrifying to even glance upon, and my friend instructed his camera crew to get as much raw footage as possible. As he said, it would be great cutaway material when he does his piece to camera. As the police pulled away loose concrete from the wall, I looked at his room, and there above his bed was a bookshelf, and upon it, to my horror, was the first book I had written, of the series I still wrote, my first international bestseller. Snurd called my name. I turned and saw a slab of concrete devoid of the wall, and there were skeletal remains in the wall. And as the rest of the walls were scraped down, each provided a wall of dead bodies. There was no bedroom. This was a morgue. I opened the book, which was shaking in my hands, the same hands that had held my dying daughter, and to my horror, not only had it held my signature in front of me, but on the next blank page before chapter 1, there was an inscription. It read, "To Rufus and Daddy dear, a small gift from us to you. Love, Mary and Jacob," followed by a row of untidy X's as kisses and a date. I pulled Snurd over. He told me Rufus was Rufus Jakes, Jacob's dad, and Mary Jakes was his mother. Both I knew he murdered, his father first, his first chronological murder. But the date, oh my God, the date had preceded that murder by 1 year. Jacob and his mother must have been at a book signing and got the book for their father, probably his birthday or something. I had signed this book for them, not knowing of the future consequences. What consequences? That he would come and kill your daughter? No, the book, what it's about. A serial killer. Yeah, I know, I've read it. And you don't remember. It begins with him molesting his little cousin, and then feeling so ashamed he beats him to death. Oh my God. The diary they found last year has an entry where Jacob talks of how his father molested him, and on his 5th birthday he killed him before going on to kill his mother years later for not protecting him. And by God, what if? Exactly. What if Rufus had never even touched Jacob until his wife and son brought your book for him as a harmless present? What if he got the idea or fancy from what you wrote? Don't say it. Stop. Then you created Jacob Jakes. No, I shouted out, weeping uncontrollably, throwing the book to the floor, landing right by the hand of a skeleton child. They're only words. You didn't create him. Stop beating yourself up. My daughter's dead, you heartless bastard. All this is to you just news, entertainment, isn't it? You keep detached like some doctor or solicitor while others are dying. That's a bit rich. Fine, you're right. I used to be like that. But since Sammy just died, all I can see is blood. I was eating breakfast this morning. I turned the radio and TV on. All I could see was blood pouring out of the sets. I shut my eyes and it went away. I turned the TV and radio off all day, too afraid it would happen again. But that's all we do, isn't it? Close our eyes, so we can't see the problems. But it doesn't mean they go away. I know that now. I'm sorry, truly, I am for your loss. But I got a job to do. I think it's better you leave this place. Go home, take a rest, please. He said it with such sincerity, and yet the words just didn't fit. He just wanted me out of the way. He couldn't learn from my mistakes, from my pain. Only until something like it happened again. I walked home, but I couldn't clear my mind of all that had happened. I stopped by the Albert Hall, and I could hear the familiar tune of Shostakovich's Symphony No. 5. I think it's near the end of the third movement, and its lulling melodies made me think of that killer. I saw him walking about the streets as everyone does, then stopping at a bus stop like everyone else, his head down, all innocent, but I can imagine as eyeing up across the road his next young victim, could see his head lift up slowly and with intent, his innocence subside and be replaced by the look of evil. I felt like to shout and scream out loud, let my rage ring out so that everyone could hear and not deny, not close their eyes to the suffering that I now felt. I was a writer of words who had squandered his God-given gift to the baseness of horror, who would eat a cream cake with some tea whilst writing about a man being tortured to death. Oh, how foolish I had been! I thought to myself, it was Jacob Jakes who had helped sell my books, and now all I could do is wish for that man was vengeance. I begged God in my heart, mind and soul to take him from this earth, to punish him the most horrific way, to give pain to every vein and vessel of his body, and burn out the memory of him from even his synapses.